K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and that's right. I'm not rocking the mix between Bam Bam Bigelow and a flaming hot bag of Cheetos, but I'll tell you, that was some great attire. Thank you for James Harden. Like that was awesome. I love that attire. But I will welcome you in, the men who have style tonight, whether it be bald heads or James's flashy yellow shirt right there.
I'm at the beach.
Who knows? All right. Well, anyway, let me welcome in the crew tonight. First off, we'll start out with that man who likes his bacon crispy, so we call him Crispy Bacon. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Midweek, so it's not too bad.
All right. And then, of course, welcome him in. He wears the bald head the best. We call him Big B. How's it going?
Yeah, but I tell you what, man. I wonder what it would take for someone, what would be the top dollar to wear something like that we just saw James Harden wear. I don't know. But hey, I gotta say something. I always bring it up every week. This week was actually a pretty good week for poker night. I finished third, so you guys can chalk that one up on the board that I actually had a good night. So I'm ready to talk sports.
Well, if you're not first, you're last.
Yep, exactly.
So I'm
Walk
sorry
away
to
with
say,
money. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to say, if you're not first, you're last. So
okay.
Yeah. All right, and then of course, welcome him in with that fire yellow shirt tonight. That's right, Mr. James Gonzalez. How's it going tonight?
It was in the closet. I'm good. Got off a work long day, and I'm happy to be here. Interesting topics as always tonight. Can't wait to get into them.
Yeah, so these are going to be some very, very interesting topics. I definitely wish that somebody would put on the flaming hot bag of Cheetos outfit, because I would really love to see that.
Well, that or, going to work for 2 hours and get a free paper for your troubles. I mean.
Yeah, and then having to pay for a train ride there. That's
right. But you got free paper out of the deal, so you save money there.
Well, I guess if you think it's a win-win or whatever. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into our first topic tonight. So our first topic tonight, we're going to start on the NFL side. That's right. Welcome in Christy Wilson. She's on the side. Welcome in Callum McClurg. He's on the side. We hope you guys are having a fantastic night. So I want to talk about this, and there's a reason why I want to talk about this, because this was kind of interesting to me. And the reason why this was interesting is because after last season, people were talking kind of not very high on Kingsbury. People were immediately like, is Kingsbury in the hot seat? Is he going to get fired? Now, Kime, I could understand why they extended him. He's actually made some decent moves. He drafted pretty good. He made some decent moves. So I understand extending him till 2027. But what shocked me is that they gave Kingsbury an extension till 2027. This is where I'm like, really? You gave Cliff Kingsbury an extension till 2000? What even in the right mind made you even think that it was going to be a good idea to extend him until 2027? So, James, I'm going to start out with you. What's your thoughts on Kime and Kingsbury getting extended?
Yeah, this seems like a big you-know-what to Kyler Murray and his agent, a big FU for putting that. First of all, they put out that big letter his agent did, saying, we want to be here. We want to win a Super Bowl. We want to get paid like it. And basically the Cardinals brass just said, hey, we took that personally, and we're gonna help ourselves. And it's not going to help things with Kyler Murray and their relationship with the front office and the coach. Honestly, you mentioned it. The GM has brought in, just when you think of 2021, that offseason, before the season there, he brought in Watt, AJ Green, 2020, Chandler Jones, and then before our DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
James Conner last year, all these great players who you don't usually get in the desert, via free agency or trade or whatever. They were all there for Kyler Murray to work with. Injuries happened, sure. But Murray, he especially struggled when he was at his own end zone. If you recall, he had the safety against
Yeah.
Colts. He had a pick six in the wild card game. So a lot of the blame, a lot of it's on Murray. But to be honest, he's acted kind of childish since the season ended. He said, "Oh, I'm the focal point. I'm everything. I'm the stir. I'm the straw that stirs the drink." But honestly, now it just seems like, all right, is he going to be put in that QB carousel and be traded? And this just doesn't help things if you think he's going to stay in Arizona long term. So I'm really interested to see how this all goes with this news today.
You know what? I'm right there with you, James. The one thing that I'm going to say about that, though, is I will agree with Christy that she says I smell trouble, and then I also want to welcome in Cody. This is to where it's kind of perplexing to me, because if you're the Cardinals and you're saying that Kyler Murray's your guy, Kyler Murray's your franchise quarterback, he's your future. Now, if Kyler Murray is unhappy that Kingsbury's there, because I don't know, exactly how their relationship is. We haven't really heard, we've kind of heard, up and down that they get along, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't. So as a Cardinals fan, you're kind of looking at this going, okay, so if it comes down to it and you extend Kingsbury and Murray's like, well, it's either me or Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it obviously shows you right now that the Cardinals have already chosen who they would want. They would stick with Kingsbury instead of Murray, which I'm like, man, that is crazy, because I don't think that Kingsbury is that good of a coach, to be perfectly honest, because with the roster that the Cardinals had, they should be able to do a heck of a lot more than I understand that they made the playoffs. I get it, but they got whopped in the wild card round. I mean, it wasn't even close. So, Big B, I'm going to turn this one over to you. You tell me your thoughts on this debacle in Arizona.
Yeah, I would say all signs point to Murray being gone, because they're going to take the coach, it sounds like. So we could see Murray being on the chopping block. I mean, they started off, 7-0, and then they kind of faltered after that. But looking at Kingsbury's record, he's improved 3 games every year since taking over the Cardinals. So are they banking on that trend to keep going? Then it's a good hiring. But again, if you got your franchise quarterback saying he wants out, he's deleting all the anything to do with the Cardinals. It doesn't look good, and it sounds like the ownership in the is siding with the coach, and they're bringing him in and the GM in. So they got 5 years left now with them. Granted, we know the contracts aren't guaranteed for coaches and GMs, so they can be let go at any time. But I'm guessing that Arizona's looking at the trend, and they're going to say, "Hey, next year we'll be, 14-13. The year after that, maybe, 17-0. Unlikely, but if the trend keeps going, they're improving each game, each year that he's under them. So we'll see what happens. But like you said, Ace, they got throttled in the playoff game, so it doesn't look good. And I'm kind of with Chrissy. I think it's going to smell trouble unless things change. So
yeah, you can sit here and say they improve by 3 games every season, because yes, they have, but look at the names that they've brought in every single season, though.
Oh yeah.
You give somebody the weapons that Kyler Murray has, and that defense, because that Arizona defense, especially in that wild card game, should be a lot better than what they played. Definitely.
And Ace Freeze. So I think he's getting on the point of the defense. The defense, we all know, was most of the season their rock, their sticking point. So when Ace gets back here, we'll stick with the Cardinals.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. No, go ahead.
Yep, I'm back. Yeah. So it's it's like I was talking about. But then you look at the offensive side, and you have, James Conner, and you have DeAndre Hopkins,
Yep.
you have AJ Green, you have Zach Ertz. So it's they're not only a defensive team, like they're a really good offensive team.
Yep.
So the Cardinals should be able to make a lot of noise, which once they got to the playoffs, they just laid a turd, and that's just and that's what it was. So if you expect to build on that, you kind of maybe see that playoff game kind of upset Kyler Murray. But let me tell you this: if Kyler Murray is looking at Kingsbury saying that was Kingsbury's fault in that wild card game, he can take the fingers to and point at him and be like, that was also on him too, because he made some boneheaded throws.
Yep.
Boneheaded throws. And so, it's okay to dislike your coach if you want, but you can't blame your coach for everything. You can't, because your play has to back it up on the field. And in that playoff game, it did not back it up on the field. So, Chris, I'll turn this one to you. What's your thoughts on this debacle in Arizona?
Like you said at the beginning of this topic, I get the ownership, getting a new contract. Coaching staff, your head coach is kind of interesting, especially with your quarterback. He's good, but he's not the elite level. He's not, he's still trying to kind of learn on the job almost, but they haven't made the playoffs until this year since like 2015. Murray's been drafted like in 2019, so I think the reason why Kingsbury got a new contract to me is because he led them, well, him and Murray led them to the playoffs, and they're like, oh, you did something, several other coaches haven't done in a while. We'll give you that extension. So I think, leading them to the playoffs kind of also has something to do with that too.
I don't know. This whole debacle's to me just is really weird. So hopefully the Cardinals will make a choice at some point and realize that, Kyler Murray can be their future. But if the other hand, though, thinking about it though too, the other rumors with Kyler Murray that I'm hoping are not true. And I think everybody knows what I was talking about when the rumors were out saying that Kyler Murray wanted $50+ million a year. That I'm like, come on, Kyler. Come on, man. What have you done that even shows that you deserve that? I mean, he hasn't even been in the league very long, and even since he's been there, he hasn't done anything to earn the $50+ million. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. All right. So we can go ahead and jump over to our next topic, which is our next one. We're going to talk a little NBA now. We're going to look at who we believe right now, since we're a little bit over halfway in the season. We're going to talk about who we feel is our rookie of the year so far. And so, Big B, I'm going to go ahead and start out with you. Who do you have right now as your rookie of the year? And it's not Austin Reeves.
Well, you guys know I'm not much of a basketball guy, so I'm going to have to go. God, it's tough because I'm looking at them, and what I like is I'm trying to find the guy here.
You're talking about Evan Mobley, you talking about him?
Yeah, Evan Mobley's a good one, but there was a guy here.
Scotty Barnes.
Josh Giddey.
Oh,
he's
Josh
averaging,
Giddey, okay.
Yeah, he's averaging 12.5 points a game, 7 just under 8 boards, and just under 7 assists. So I mean, to me, I would take that, as my rookie year and improve on that. But I mean, I think it's going to be Cunningham and Mobley's award to lose. So, but I like what Giddey's doing.
Don't forget though. I mean, you're talking about Mobley and you're talking about Cunningham, which are great choices because with me being a Pistons fan, trust me, I want this more than anything because maybe it shows us that we actually have a bright star in the future that we can try and build upon. So I would definitely be okay with that. But I would look at Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, and then don't forget though, right between those guys, you could even put Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors. Scotty Barnes is there though too. So because now if you want to go off points per game, which people do, but to me there's more than points per game. Like you have to go off more than that because if you do, technically your leader at that point would be Cade Cunningham, but you have to go a little bit more. So I think with the overall part of it right now, I would probably say it's Evan Mobley at this point, but it's very close. It's really close. It's either Mobley or Cunningham at this. And I'm not saying it just because I'm a Pistons fan. I'm saying it because it's close. It really is close. And you could go either way. And yes, Count saying how about Jalen sucks? No, but he's had a decent year, but not the numbers that Mobley or Cunningham has had, or even Scotty Barnes. So I can't put him up there in the top 3.
If his assists were higher, I think he'd be okay because I mean he's only doing 4.4 assists per game. So I think for being a guard, if his assist numbers were higher, then I think he'd probably get some talk. But
yeah, which is kind of interesting nowadays in the NBA because you would think like point guards, their main focus would be like assists and not always points. But nowadays it's not like that anymore. It's now it's about shooting. So assist is kind of one of those numbers that's kind of gone out the window now to where they don't even look at how many assists you get per game now. It's how many points you score and how many rebounds you get, and those are like your 2 main things that they like. Oh, how many threes you hitting? Right there. Yep, those are always big things. So, James, Rookie of the Year.
Well, there's some names I could definitely come up with, and Jalen Green with Houston, Jonathan Kuminga with Golden State, Isaiah Jackson with Indiana. And then Franz Wagner with Orlando. Not Giddy, but Trey Mann with Oklahoma City.
Oh, my God.
I know. I just saw that, too.
Giddy gets all the attention in Oklahoma City, but Mann is putting up better numbers, and he has a game similar to Kyrie Irving. Also, you could put in Cade Cunningham, surely. But the record isn't their wins and losses, sadly to say, Ace.
That's not his fault.
I know. Evan Mobley is there, but he's not average. He's almost averaging a double-double. He's 0.3 away for rebounds-wise. And he's on a winner, which is surprising. Right now, I guess you give it to Scotty Barnes. He's averaging 20 points per game, 8 rebounds. He's shooting 75% from the field. I'm kind of torn between Mobley and Barnes just because both are so important to each team. With the injury of OG Anunoby on Toronto, Barnes has had to step up. But with Mobley, he is probably the clear choice for Rookie of the Year for me because he's come in right from the start. And he's a great defensive player, which is odd to see nowadays, any type of defense being played. And he's only getting better offensively. He's got this jump hook. He's got this jump shot going. He can hit from the 3-point spot as well. The future looks brighter for Mobley than I would say any other rookie this year. So I'm going to Evan Mobley from USC.
I like
and
that.
You know what? And this comment here is probably the most ridiculous comment I've ever read in my life.
And Chris, we are counting that as Isaiah's wild take, so we're going to add that.
Saying Austin Reeves can undoubtedly, unquestionably be Rookie of the Year. The kid was not drafted, folks. And to go from no one wanting you to now being a starter for Lakers, what a story that. So what you're telling me, Isaiah, is that you would take a guy that maybe averages 4 points a game
6
over somebody who's going to average 20 points a game. That is freaking ridiculous, man. Like that
2
is
points the last 2 games.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Like this dude loves Austin Reeves so much that's why I said this dude could go 0 for 16 in 2 consecutive games without making any points, and Isaiah would be like, "Yep, this guy's the GOAT, man.
So
This isn't his fault." And I'm like,
So
"Really?"
So here's Austin Reeves' stat line here for the year so far. 42 games. He started 3. He's only playing about 21 minutes, 21 and a half minutes. Shooting percentage is, 470. His 3-point percentage is under 300. He's got 6 points per game, 1.3 assists, 2.5 total rebounds.
And
He's doing awesome. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Isaiah. You need to go back to work for a couple more hours. Read the paper that you got for free.
That is freaking that. But somehow when I put this out there, I knew that was going to be his answer.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew
it.
That's why,
You did.
yeah. I mean, that's like me saying it's going to be Minnesota's rookie, Anthony. It's like, no.
Dude,
I probably have a better chance of winning Rookie of the Year over Austin Reeves.
he's not going to even be in the top 10 in voting.
No.
He's not going to even be top 10.
No. He might not even make the playoffs. So
He might be bottom 5. But, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not going to even.
All right, he's on.
oh boy, defend your situation. Defend your decision, please. Or not.
Well, he's spinning right now, so he's not even there.
Yeah, take off.
Never there.
There he is.
All right, Isaiah.
Are you there?
Or is that a mannequin, Isaiah?
Oh boy.
Oh, he kind of froze. Okay. Well, that's okay.
I do want to. I mean, we all knew he was going to pick Reeves. I want to hear his reasoning.
He doesn't have a reasoning. There
There's
is
no
no
reasoning.
Okay, Isaiah turned into Chrissy now. All right.
He said
Better
he
look.
didn't
have.
Well, we know
Isaiah
he's
has
not going to have a
no-
reason. I want to hear his reason.
There's no logical reasoning. There's
There's
nothing
not. You're
here.
right.
He has
I
no
just want-
case.
I just want to hear what he has to say so we can
He
all
has
laugh at
no
him.
case. It's blasphemy. That's what it is.
Viral.
I tell you, for our trivia show, I can make a whole category on Isaiah's wild takes for Jeopardy. I mean, I've done it.
You did one time.
Yes.
It's freaking crazy. I don't know. Just going out of my mind with this crap, man.
It's just sad that we predicted that in our group
That's
chat.
been
We
working
were
with-
going to pick out.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody knew he was going with Austin Reeves. Without a doubt, he was going Austin Reeves.
way too obvious.
And trust me, you probably could ask them last year who was Rookie of the Year in the NFL. Well, Trey Lance, he came in and threw that one touchdown pass, so you got to give it to Trey Lance.
Well,
No.
Speaking of that, guys, if we get him on for the football talk, he's already predicted that Trevor Lawrence this year will be in the MVP talk and might win the MVP.
No.
No.
That's
All right.
wild.
Well,
Nope. Doubt
let's
it.
go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is one of my favorite ones. I love talking about this, and guess what? We're almost there. It's right around the corner. It's that big tournament, the March Madness tournament.
Ooh, yeah.
Right around the corner. So, Chris, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you.
No.
Here.
No, you're fine.
Let's say Austin Reeves.
You say off the read, I'm kicking you off the screen.
Okay, he's here.
Let's try this again. Am I good now? Am I good?
No.
You've never been good.
Now, are you frozen anymore? Absolutely not. But are you good?
Let it go. Let it go.
Not good. Not good.
No.
All right. Chris.
Anyway.
left.
Chris left, so we can go ahead and jump into our next topic, which is
No,
about
I want to
Mark
hear Isaiah's reason why he's taking Austin Reeves.
No, he doesn't get to. He doesn't get
Okay.
to. Because that is one of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, Chrissy probably has a better take on Rookie of the Year than Isaiah does.
No, actually, I don't.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but
You
you're
could
not
have said anybody, and that would have been.
I
better
would
than
not say Austin Reeves, though. I would never say
Exactly.
Austin Reeves.
Because you're not going to sit here and tell me that a guy that scores 6 points a game is Rookie of the Year. That is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I can go score 6 points right now, and I'd probably be considered for Rookie of the Year.
All right. So, next topic, which is really fun, March Madness. So, when it comes to March Madness, where do you rank March Madness on your favorite to watch list when it comes to sports wise? So, Isaiah, since you just hopped on, tell me, when it comes to March Madness, how excited are you to watch this tournament every year?
Very, very excited, actually. I would say for me, in terms of the sporting events that I love to watch, it's definitely the Super Bowl #1. And then probably like March Madness would be either 2 or 3 on the list, just because in this tournament, anything can happen. Anything is possible. Like the great Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible in this tournament. You could have a 16 seed team upset a 1. You could have like 10 upsets in
Because it
one
happens
day.
so often.
That's why March Madness is so fun, because you just have all those upsets, and that's why we love to watch sports, because we love to see those upsets in sports, and you have that in March Madness. That's why, honestly, if I was the commissioner of any other league, forget your series. We're doing one game, winner take all, every single playoff round. It's the best format in the postseason. It's a great format. I love it. Plus, there's 64 teams. You can have like New Mexico State win the NCAA tournament, and nobody would have predicted it, just because of how unpredictable this is. So for me, probably it's like number 2 or number 3 on my list of events that I want to watch.
Well, and so I will say, Isaiah, a few things to your point on there. Yeah, so a 16 beating a 1 seed, that's happened once, but it's almost happened on several occasions.
Mhm.
Now, a 15 seed beating a 2 seed, that's happened more often than people think. So, you can think about so yes, you do get those underdog teams that make it to like the Elite 8. So you have teams like Chicago Loyola that
Yeah.
Yep. I
that
remember.
has, yep, they were there. You had Florida Gulf Coast, a freaking 15 seed that
Yep.
went all the way, went
Yeah,
that
Mason.
far, 15 seed. So you never know. March Madness is one of those tournaments that you just never know what's gonna happen. So it's so exciting to watch it. Like it for me, it definitely ranks up there. That I'm like, I gotta watch these games now. A lot of times I play during the day, so I'm working at that time. But when I get a chance, lunch break, I'm coming home, I'm turning it on, I'm watching for a good 45 minutes or so. Then after work, I'm turning that bad boy on because I like to see it. Now I don't know about you guys, but I usually find myself rooting for the underdogs,
I do too.
unless it's my favorite team. Unless the Badgers are ranked good, then I'm rooting for them. But if it's like a 15 seed going up against a 2 seed, I'm like, yes, go, beat them. I'm like, I want to see it. So, Christy, how about you, March Madness?
It definitely ranks up there top 5 for me because it's so unpredictable and you don't know what's honestly going to happen. You could have an upset. You have those Cinderella teams, those underdog teams. It's just a lot of fun to watch. I mean, especially when you have teams that are not the normal teams getting in there. Like you can't have Duke and North Carolina in there all the time. So it's fun to see teams like, say, Villanova, for example, get in there and do well in the tournament.
Right.
Sorry, I got a buzzing noise going on. Wait a minute.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, I was like, what the heck's going on?
I'm like, what's going on? Huh?
Yep, I'm back for a second.
Okay.
So we do have a few comments here. So Callan is saying, "This is March Madness. Let's go! Absolutely, let's go March Madness." Callan saying, "With baseball being locked out, March Madness now takes over for MLB behind the Stanley Cup Finals." Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Screw the Super Bowl.
And then Callan saying, "March Madness equals college football playoffs."
No, he's
And
saying
then
it's
Callan-
greater than college
Greater than
football.
college
Yeah,
football.
right. And then Callan's even saying 5 versus 12 upsets happen nearly, and it's true. Usually a 12 beats a 5 every single season. It usually happens at least once. It's so fun to watch. All right, Big B, how about you, March Madness?
Oh, it's definitely up there. I mean, for me, I would say, because it happens first. I mean, I'm always excited for March Madness, but the Little League World Series ranks up there. Of course, WrestleMania, but I mean, because March Madness is right here. I mean, it's definitely good. I fill out, anywhere from 6 to 10 boards every year, but the upsets are what I like. I definitely root for, even though I know it's never gonna, or it's only happened once. I always root for the 16 seeds to win, the 15
Yeah.
seeds to win. Definitely if my Gophers are in there, I'm rooting for them to win, even though I know they're not going to do nothing much. But funny thing is I thought the 15 seeds did a lot more. They've only won 9 times, so they're a 9 and 135 record in the first round. But for me, I definitely stay tuned to the playing games in the first round, and then depending on what happens in the first round, I might watch the second round of stuff. But then I kind of tune out once if there's not a Cinderella team, then I kind of tune out because we all know what's going to happen, and I'll watch the Final Four for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you said nine times, but that's why I said it's happened more than people thought. Because 9 times for a 15 seed is still pretty good because you're going in as long shots to even beat a 2 seed, and you just don't see it very much.
No,
But
you have not had a
Isaiah,
perfect bracket for the
I've
last
had
3
a perfect
years,
bracket
Isaiah.
the last 3 years.
I
So
want
what?
proof.
What,
want
Warren
proof.
Buffett's not going to pay you a dime.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Chris,
Hey.
that's number 2
Possible to get a
tank,
perfect
please.
bracket.
I
Okay.
fill my brackets out when the games are about, or when the games are in the process of happening in
What?
like the second
That's not
half
fair.
of the
When the
game.
games
I
are
fill
over.
mine at
You're
that
And I
time.
don't fill out a
You're
bracket.
supposed to fill it out before the games
Yeah.
start.
Well, I
Now-
do that for the national championship game. I take the
No,
national
you're supposed to do
championship
it before.
game. I do
They
that.
always say do
Well
it
before.
before.
Now,
I think they
Big-
usually
Big
print out
B,
brackets online for you.
I
Yeah.
will
Chris, that's
say
number 2 wild take by Isaiah, by the way.
absolutely. Big B, I will say that I'm kind of like you in a way. When I come to fill out brackets, I usually fill out a lot, but normally what I do with brackets is like if the Badgers are in it, just for the heck of it, I do one to have them go through
Oh,
and
yeah.
win it all with my favorite team, and then I fill out another one that I'm like, this is what I actually think is going to
Yep.
happen.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
so yeah, I kind of fill out 2 just in case as like
Yep.
just a little fun thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I put the blindfold on and I just write teams in and see how that goes. Throw
I swear,
darts at the
if I fill one
dartboard.
out, I end up throwing
You're
it
like
away
the
because the majority of it
dartboard.
gets totally
Well-
destroyed.
Yeah, because it is virtually impossible to get a perfect bracket.
It is,
Because-
unless you're psychic.
There's always some kind of upset that generally
Mhm.
happens, so it's virtually impossible.
Yep.
That's why I think there's been one
right.
person that was kind of close. I think got to the Elite 8. I think is a perfect bracket. I think or something like that
Yeah.
a few years ago.
All right, so James, March Madness.
I'm kind of similar with Isaiah. Like the whole NFL playoffs is pretty
Right.
much number 1 for me. Then you have March Madness number 2. If the NBA wasn't so watered down,
Yeah.
if it was more of a, if there were more teams in it and with a realistic shot to win it all, I like growing up. I think that would be number 3, but I think playoff hockey has taken over the number 3 spot. I always get excited, not only with March Madness coming, then I know, well, we're right into spring training and MLB is going to start right away.
Right.
Well, that's not going to happen this year, but
It's going to happen.
A little late, I think.
It's gonna get
Yeah.
done, James. It's gonna get done.
Have patience.
But no, every year I love seeing the upsets. I love the production value that CBS, Turner brings into it. They
Right.
bring those studio guys in there, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith from TNT, along with Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg and whoever else comes
Jim
in.
Nantz.
Jim Nantz, who does a fine job with
Brilliant.
with everyone there. All the different announcers you get too with all the games. it's like a smorgasbord of wonders for me, honestly, because I love hearing different games going on. And then when you have to follow it at the same time, if I'm home, I'll get my tablet out. If there's a close game going on the regular television, well, I got to get my tablet out and catch the other close finish. So that first whole week is just crazy. That whole weekend is just crazy to me. The first 4 days, that's usually my favorite time of year, where I try to get off of work and try to work, double shifts Monday through Wednesday, so I can have Thursday through Sunday off and don't miss anything, or at least try to work the mornings and just say, hey, I'm gonna leave early but when the half times of the first games come on, I want to be home for that. So I'm definitely looking forward to it this year. This year, it seems like there's no clear-cut favorite. We've seen a lot of upsets happen. Gonzaga, who was number 1, just got upset. Ohio State, I'm thinking of, and there's others. Last year was kind of special, too, because USC, who really is always on the fringe of getting in, I believe they went to the Elite Eight. This year, they'll probably do a little less. It kind of sucked that UCLA got to the Final Four last year. I didn't want to see that, but they did. And I don't know if they'll get back this year, but I don't want them to succeed. I want USC to do better, but we'll see what happens. I like George Mason in 2003 or 4. I'm hoping for a miracle to happen where a miracle team gets to the Final Four.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Right.
Believe in miracles.
I'm hoping we get a championship game ending like in 2016.
Oh,
when Chris Jensen hit the
3-point shot. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's the loudest I ever remember yelling. Like, the Raiders haven't given me anything to yell about. 2002 was the last time the Angels won the championship first time, so I yelled then. And that was Villanova. That wasn't even my team.
No.
And I yelled because I hated North Carolina. I didn't want them to win. So I yelled crazy, and I'm hoping this year I get the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not forget here, we're talking about teams this year. Now, I'm not saying the Badgers can win it all, because they're not going to. But what I'm saying, though, is I definitely want to give them a shout out, because coming into this college basketball season, everybody had the Badgers going placing 10th in the Big Ten. No. They had them
in the conference.
In the conference, and we won the Big Ten after they had us going 10th, and I was like, stick that up there. There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go. We got it.
There you go.
And they say it every year. Big Ten going into the NCAA conference is the strongest conference, and we get one team to get out of the second round and never. I mean, I shouldn't say we never win it, but rarely win it. But every year they always say the Big Ten is the strongest conference going in.
I've heard that.
Why
too,
do I have to bring up the Badgers there, Isaiah? Because they're my team. They're my team. That's why I got to rep my team.
Yeah.
I'm Michigan. I'm Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
But it's his only team too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, congrats though. Congrats
He
on winning
doesn't
the
root
Big
for
Ten.
60 college basketball teams like you do, Isaiah.
How is
Michigan?
Badgers and that's it.
How are you Michigan? I don't get it.
Well, because I'm a big fan of Juwan Howard, which we're not going to get into the whole incident, but I like that guy as a coach. That's why I rooted for him. And yeah, I just like the way he coaches and the way his team plays. But congrats on, winning the Big Ten.
Do you even know where Juwan Howard went to college at, Isaiah?
Michigan. He was the guy that did the
I was
dance.
going to say.
No. He was part of the Fab Five with Chris Webber.
Yep.
A long time ago.
Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Reggie Jackson. I think no, not Reggie Jackson. So the two other guys.
Jalen Rose.
He said Jalen Rose.
Okay. Jimmy King.
I think that's him.
There was another one too.
Well, there has to be 5 of them, Isaiah.
5.
Ray Jackson, right? Dear God.
Sure.
What?
I do. At the end
I'm
of
gonna
the
look up
championship
the
game,
starting lineup for that University of Michigan team, the Fab Five.
It's Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard,
Ray
Jimmy
Jackson.
King, and Ray Jackson.
There
yeah.
you go, you got it.
So
I do like the one shining moment too at the end of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Those always get me. I watch that, and then it comes on YouTube. I just love that. I love going through all the years with that.
Yeah.
So we do have a few comments here. So Callan saying 2008 is still my favorite tournament of the year. The University of San Diego's defeat the Jim Callan led UConn Huskies, and you know what?
I wasn't too bad.
You know what though? I want to give a shout, and the only reason I give a shout out to UConn is simply because remember that ridiculous run that they went on for like the longest time, especially on the women's side, to where they
remember.
won
I was
like
gonna say,
I remember. I watched some of that.
consecutive
That was
games. I'm like,
crazy.
that is ridiculous. Yeah,
And
the women's
2 years
the women's
straight, their
UConn
seasons
team.
ended on last-second three-point shots or last-second buzzer beaters.
yeah.
And normally
absolutely.
the UConn women's teams, you know, really good in those tournaments.
They usually
so,
dominate, and then
yeah.
South Carolina comes in.
That's the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isaiah's worst nightmare.
Hi,
What
Isaiah.
up?
Hello,
Are you
Isaiah.
there?
I'm gonna hide
Don't
behind my
summon
cow
Isaiah.
now.
No, show your face.
Why do you have a cow on there? All right,
I don't
Chris,
know. Maybe
what
that's
is
the
your-
cow he wants to have as a pet.
what is your thoughts on March Madness?
Oh no, I like March Madness. It's one of the events I watch, you know, in the off season of football. But you know, the tournament's really good. I fill out a bracket or two. Granted, I always, you know, burst my bracket afterwards. But you know, it's always fun to you know, work on and see how far I get. Granted, it's not far, but no, you know, the games are just fun to watch, and the tournament's really good.
Yeah, my bracket's usually busted in the first round.
Mine too.
I actually do pretty good in the first round, and then kind of falter afterwards.
Me.
I'm always afraid to like pick the upsets in the first round.
Oh yeah, 8 versus 9.
Yeah.
The 8 to 9 one is like the toughest.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm always
I still
afraid.
remember
Well, why is it
Isaiah,
telling you,
Isaiah, you didn't even fill out a bracket for our tournament challenge last year. Don't give me that nonsense.
No, Colin. He said
Liar.
he's been undefeated. He's had perfect brackets the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, he admitted he didn't fill out a bracket for our tournament challenge last year because he didn't want to get exposed for his selections last year.
Yeah, I didn't fill it out for MI6, but I filled it out as the tournament went by. That's what happened.
That's
But
not how it
that would
works,
be
Leon.
for-
Come
No.
on, Warren
Or-
Buffett.
No. Warren
That's
Buffett is
not
not
how it
going to
works.
give you one dime. Not one.
Nope.
But anyways, I know this topic coming up is definitely not Callan's favorite because as Callan would talk, you know, about it, he mentions it as hand egg. So this is definitely our next topic that we're talking about, and we're talking about it because free agency is coming up. But and then I'll give everybody a chance to give a shout out to Manfred and MLB here. As this is over, I'll give everybody a chance to shout out to him. But we're gonna touch on free agency really quick in NFL. We're gonna I'm just gonna ask you what you think your team is gonna do in free agency. So Chris, you get the honors. You get the honors.
Awesome. Hopefully they
you know you're still over the cap. You haven't
Gucci.
really done
Whatever it
anything
is.
yet.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, what do you think?
Man, I mean,
They're gonna get rid of Danucci and
Yeah.
that solves
There you go.
the cap issues.
no, I mean, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like hopefully they sign somebody on the offensive line. I feel like they need to protect Dak. I know we're going to lose some pieces, you know, with receiver and Cooper and
He's
all
for the
that. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, yeah.
What's that trophy for anyway?
It's my racing trophy.
Oh, you're racing
Oh, cool.
trophy.
Yeah, I used to race cars.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
No,
No.
Isaiah, I don't race motorcycles.
No, I just hope they
You know,
sign
I-
somebody for offensive
Isaiah, I
line.
really don't.
Well, I guess we'll see there, Chris. It could definitely happen.
Yeah.
Big B, how about you?
Man,
What's Minnesota Vikings?
there's a lot of speculation what the Vikings are going to do in this offseason because they're a little over the cap too, but I think they're going to get younger on defense. They're going to try to find some offensive line help. And it would not shock me one bit if they trade Kirk Cousins because I think that's the way the league's going to go now is if you're a quarterback away, you're going to shell out to get them. And a lot of reports are saying that Kirk Cousins is probably the best guy outside of Aaron Rodgers right now that possibly get moved. So, but I see them focusing on defense and getting younger there and then possibly trying to solidify their offensive line help.
And I can personally tell you, I don't think Rodgers is going anywhere.
Same.
I
They'll
think
get
he's
it
going
done.
to Denver.
They'll get done.
I still think that. I don't know.
I'm still telling you, I don't think he's going anywhere because the report came out that Green Bay's been in talks with Rodgers representatives on a short-term contract. So, still, I'm telling you, I still think
it'll probably get done quicker than the MLB contract.
Yeah.
right.
Probably.
All right,
Yeah.
James, what do you think your team's going to do in free agency?
For the Raiders, 3 guys, basically Tyrann Mathieu for safety. You can pair him up with Trevon Moehrig, who they drafted in 2021. You can have both of those safeties back there to stop the passing game of the other teams. I would love that. Number 2 is to shore up that offensive line at right guard, Brandon Sheriff. I think that'd be a great move. You can never have enough offensive linemen. And then number 1, hate to burst your bubble, Ace, but I'm going to need Devontae Adams from Green Bay.
Not going to happen. We're going to franchise tag Devontae. We're franchise tagging
do that to
I
him.
don't think you're going to get him.
He just had to throw that in there.
All right.
Yeah. No, I don't think the Raiders are going to get him. They're going to probably have to draft or sign another free agent receiver out there like Godwin, trade for Calvin Ridley. But I really want Devontae Adams. I think him and Carr will pair up to be awesome. But we'll see, Ace.
All right. Christy, another fellow Cowboys.
Well, they do need to get under the cap, so I think they're going to be restructuring I think some contracts are going to get restructured, and then they're probably going to put their focus on the offensive line because Dak needs protection. He does, and they got to address the Amari Cooper situation, and I think they got to definitely shore up that defense a little bit. It was good last season, but I think it can be better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. Well,
I
guess
mean,
what?
try to keep my expectations low, though.
Well, guess what? It comes to Isaiah now. So if everybody has to take a bathroom break, any of our viewers need to take a bathroom break, now would be the time to do it. Make yourself some popcorn.
I'm writing
Get
these
some-
down
get a
because
snack
I
or
want to know
something
what
while you're at
Isaiah says.
Oh my
Which
Get a
goodness.
team is
snack.
Isaiah going to pick first?
No, he gets
Well-
one. You get 2.
What my easy. So
Uh-oh.
let's start off with the Jags, no, I'm kidding.
No. I said
know,
no. I said you get 1. You get 1, sir.
I get one.
Oh,
Okay, fine.
let's start with
I'm
the
going-
Jags.
For the Niners, it's easy. 3 things. Number 1, cut D Ford because you're paying a guy $20 million for what? To rehab from his back injury? Like you paid him to get 20 sacks a year. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. You can't continue to pay him $20 million a year just to sit out in rehab. So you definitely need to cut him. Secondly, trade Jimmy Garoppolo because this is now the Trey Lance show. There's no way you trade 3 first-round picks or whatever it was to get up to the number 3 pick to draft Trey Lance, and you're going to let him sit for another year. No more. He's done. I mean, not Trey Lance is not done, but Jimmy Garoppolo is done. And the Bay Area has now officially become Trey area. We're not calling it the Bay Area anymore. We're calling it Trey area. And third of all, corners. There's a lot of great corners in these free agent market. You know, you have your Bryce Callahans, your Quandre Diggs, you have your Malcolm Butler could potentially be available. You have Joe Hayden, Devin McCourty, Tyron Matthew. You got to get your corners. The Niners secondary was downright awful last year. Everybody was getting deep. I guarantee you that if you had a high school quarterback come in, he probably would be able to torch the Niners secondary. So you got to get your corners. I don't care. Get 10 corners in free agency and, slot them in wherever you can.
Wow.
I think he's done. James, wake up.
I think he's done. And I could actually go off.
Is it tomorrow already?
I could go on
He's
for like
done.
a
You
long
turn the
time
lights
about
on.
free agency. Before time runs out, but before time runs out, I kind of want to give everybody a chance because I kind of want to throw in this. I wanted to throw in this last topic because I know how right now frustrated people are with the MLB lockout. So I wanted to give everybody a chance to kind of say their piece as far as this MLB lockout. And I know Callan is a big-time baseball guy, so I'm going to give Callan a chance to go first
He's
on
gone.
this one.
Unless
He's
he's
gone.
planning on
Back, I
coming
think.
back.
No, he's gone.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't want to say anything, so that's okay. All right. So James, oh wait, he might be back.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, he's back. Yay.
Back
No, he's gone.
back.
Wait. His system
Where-
must be glitching on him or something.
Yeah, I think
I think.
he's back.
Well,
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So-
Yeah, here he is.
All right, so Callan, he's somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Okay. So anyway, is Callan there?
Check.
Check.
You're
You're
here.
good.
Mic
we
check
hear ya.
1, 2.
We're good. All right, Callan, I'm going to give you your chance to say your piece on this MLB lockout.
I mean, are we really like this surprised, guys, that this is where we're at right now? That we've seen the first, 2 series of the season getting, canceled by the commissioner's office and all this and that. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, anyone who didn't think so, I think they've been living under a rock, not knowing that this has been in baseball's DNA. There's, this was the 9th time that there's been some sort of labor strife with Major League Baseball in the past, several years and stuff of that caliber. But hopefully they can get something done. But honestly, if you're like super surprised by this news, despite optimism or whatnot, I mean, I think any one of us on this panel tonight saw this coming from a mile away. I'm not surprised. And yes, it sucks, it hurts to not see games being played for spring training right now and seeing those first 7 or 8 games getting postponed or canceled and for the regular season starting. But, I'm not surprised. Who knows how long it'll take for them to get back to the table. I think, though, that Isaiah's probably, would agree with me that, the longer thing that this goes, the longer it goes, the more and more you kind of wonder about the whole season being played, where you just say, we'll see you next year more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm definitely there with you. I think the thing that got me the most is, when Manfred had his press conference, and he came out and said, "Oh yeah, the trophy's just a piece of metal," and I'm like, really? Like you're gonna come out and insult the game like that? Like it's almost like he doesn't care. And so I was like, really? So, James, what's your thoughts on this whole MLB lockout?
Well, it's been 3 or 4 years coming. We knew that at the end of this original CBA that there was going to be problems, and I was ready for it. I was ready for games to be missed. I'm prepared for the season to be missed. I know we're kind of early with that, with my thoughts at least, but to piggyback off Colin's thoughts of that season being lost, and the more games, the more weeks that go by and games that are lost, you start to lose hope in both sides. The thing was, I felt betrayed from all this, because remember a couple of days ago, I mean, They met for 16 hours. You know, it seemed like both sides were at harmony that, okay, we're going to get up in the morning, we're going to have our coffee, we're going to get this done, we're going to have breakfast or lunch, and then we'll be right at spring training where we need to be. And the hours went by the next day, the 5 p.m., deadline came up, and you were waiting for something to happen. You were waiting for labor peace, and nothing. And to me, I know the players were going to say they got lowballed by the owners and Rob Manfred, but if that's the case, that's a bad look on Rob Manfred. That's a bad look on the owners. But I really want to know how much more the players want, and then what the owners are hesitating about. That's what I'm wondering about. The game is losing its luster minute by minute, and this doesn't help things. And like I said, I'm prepared if there's no season. I came in, after October and November thinking maybe there won't be a season. I'll be prepared. I'll have March Madness. I'll have the other sports going, but that month of June and those months of June and July, before preseason football, without MLB, you got WNBA, but other from that, that's like a safe haven for baseball because the pennant races start to heat up and all that, and it's getting eerie that we'll get to that point.
Yep, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you on this. I'm prepared for basically no season because in turn, I really think that's what it's leaning towards is that the whole season at some point is just going to be canceled. They're going to come out and be like, screw it, let's just end the season. We'll see you next year. And just like Callum said, I think it's coming. I do think it's coming at some point. So, Christy, your thoughts on the lockout?
It's like 1994 all over again, where there was no resolution or anything like that, and they said, "See you next year, bye bye," and there you go. No All-Star game, no World Series. I don't know, and I hate Rob Manfred. He's just like, along with Roger Goodell, worst commissioner in professional sports. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, but I would
And
take
it's
Goodell
upsetting
over.
because I've been a baseball fan all my life, and this is just me for me personally. This is upsetting.
Tony Gwynn was going to bat 400 that year too.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, baseball. Like I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball myself, but I can tell you that baseball was already dying, and now Manfred is trying to kill the sport even more.
Totally.
So now baseball is going from a dying sport to basically it's going to be on life support. That's how I feel. Is that the game's going to be on life support at this point? All right. So, Isaiah.
The entire day yesterday, I had that song by the Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way, playing the entire day because for some reason, that's my sad song. That's the song that always, for some reason, every time I hear it, I immediately start to have tears streaming down my eyes. And it was a funeral for me because yesterday, you guys know I work for the A's, and for me, baseball getting canceled it means more than just baseball getting canceled, just because my job is basically done now. It's like March of 2020 all over again, where your job's getting canceled, everything's getting wiped off the board, and it just sucks because forget the baseball side. I just love working with those awesome coworkers of mine, which I consider family. I love working with the fans there, even though there's not really that much fans. It's just a great place to work, and to work there or to not get to work there, it's just so sad, and it just sucks. And I agree with all of you guys about the season. I don't think anybody was shocked by it. I kind of knew this was coming. In fact, I think I was talking on MI6 last year that, hey, enjoy this past season because this might be like the last season we see for a while. And Sad it has to come to that. I also agree with James. James made the point of how everybody was so optimistic with the reports coming in left and right that on Monday, my brain is so fried right now, but on Monday that you had like the long meetings, the 16-hour meetings, and then everybody was feeling, oh my God, a deal is coming. In fact, I moved my optimism meter from 10% to 56%, thinking that something was going to get done, and then it just all fell
Enough
apart.
to the point to put in your resignation letter from your airport job.
Yeah, exactly. I was on the verge. Exactly. I actually put it in yesterday. I was going to resign and just work for the A's, but then I saw that no deal came to fruition. What's up?
You wouldn't get a free paper if you left the airport job.
It was going to come to fruition, and then I saw, oh my God, no deal, and then I had to hurry back. Thank goodness my boss was in his office, get that resignation letter out of his mailbox, and like basically rip it to shreds. And I'm now thankfully still employed there, but it really just sucks, man. It really, really just sucks that baseball most likely won't have a season. I was looking forward to working for the A's this year, and to get that stripped away is just once again, it's just so sad because for those people that work there with me, it's like a second family. So it's just makes me so sad and so pissed off to see the game where it is right now. And yesterday was probably the beginning of the end for baseball. Honestly, it was the start of the demise of baseball, and that's why I had that song "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys just playing nonstop on loop for like 10 hours straight, just to cry my heart out. It was great. I literally cried at work yesterday. After I called Callan on the phone, I put my phone down next to the register because we didn't have any customers. Put that song on and started weeping. It got to the point where one of my coworkers walks in and is like, "Isaiah, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, why are you crying? Did something happen? Was there an accident? Did something happen?" And then I was like, no, it's something like personal that happened. And that's what happened. But it really, really, really sucks. And screw you, Rob Manfred.
All right, Big B.
Man, I mean, you guys know I'm a big baseball fan, just like Colin and Ace. I mean, everybody here. I held a little bit of hope that last day they're negotiating that we might get a deal done, but I'm at the point right now that, oh man, I say the first month for sure is gone. I know they've only announced the first two series, but the owner said they need, or I think the players might have said they need 4 weeks to get a good spring training and get ready. So each week in March is going to cut that down, unless they miraculously get a deal done soon. I say the first month for sure is gone. I am going to hold hope that the season's not done. Hopefully we get at least 100 and some games in. If we have to play another 60-game season, then you might as well just not even play a season this year. So,
Yeah,
but outside of that, I really hope a baseball season is here. But I'm holding hope that, as one of our co-hosts would say, it's going to get done. So,
all right, and then Chris, your thoughts?
No, it's sad that there, at the moment there's no baseball. Hopefully it does get done. I mean, every day that passes, minute, whatever, it's getting doubtful. I figured that out. Once last season ended, it's like, it could be over. Right now it is, but
Are you aware that "I Want It That Way" by the Back is a love song?
Yeah. And I do want to let you know that we don't own rights to
yes,
that.
we did not own rights to that.
We do not own rights to that music.
Why are you trying to make me weep on air, Ace? Why are you trying to make me become the next Gordon?
That wasn't Ace.
That wasn't me.
But no, it's sad, and I hope the first month or even the season isn't, going to get canceled. But unfortunately, I think it will be. And it's just unfortunate.
It's definitely going to happen. But anyway, it was another fun show. It was a fantastic show. We definitely want to thank all of our viewers for watching. I want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight and talking about these wonderful topics that we had tonight, anywhere from, Cliff Kingsbury all the way to Rob Stinking Manfred. So anything.
Or you, Rob Manfred.
You just never know.
Exactly.
Hopefully at some point, we're definitely going to get a season at some point. But likelihood, probably not going to happen. So, and definitely want to thank Crispy Bacon for everything that you done behind the scenes and even hopping on tonight. Everybody can stay tuned for tomorrow night. You can actually watch another episode of Kicking It with Isaiah and Ace. It's always a fun show. You never know what's going to happen. Isaiah comes up with the most oddball thing. So tomorrow's definitely going to be fun. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that show, as we're going to have some awesome topics tomorrow night. They're already prepared. And people haven't seen them yet, but they're going to tomorrow. So with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and we will see you next Wednesday for another episode of Sports Minute.